Hi gang, welcome back to the Unraised Latina Ever. Today I was up at my usual hour after having an awful day yesterday with the billing. It's a terrible job. You wake people up, deadbeat people that want nothing to do with the company that you work for, and they pretty much pulled their debit cards or their cards on file because they are quitting. So anyway, long story short, today's a new day. We're starting afresh. I hope the cuckoo won't go off, but we'll not talk that long. I broke down and bought another paper, which is just really against all the rules, because right after we got our paper, we saw the paper girl coming behind us, and I went for a walk, and I noticed there was papers all over the ground, and right in front of the police officer's house too, lots of them. And I just thought, it's so easy at that time of the hour just to like lift one, because $1 just seems like too much to spend on such a horrible paper. But I want to read the headlines because this is what Johnny Carson used to do, and I want to do it too. Okay, the Tampa Bay Times, and we should call it the Tampa Bay Urinal because this is only good for lining, animal cages. So anyway, Trump sparks new furor, that word, the furor. And then they're basically saying that he is blaming both sides. And of course, they refer to the white people on the other opposing sides as white supremacists. Okay, Tampa Bay Times, when black people do bad things and the Black Panthers beat people up when they're trying to vote, do we call them black supremacists? I'm sure there's lots more here in St. Pete, groups that band together that of color, doing things that are horrible. They pillage and beat people up, and so with that said, do you think that some of this violence was coming from both groups? And do you think that the fact that the people that we're calling the white supremacist people could possibly be maybe a little bit racist themselves, just a little bit? Anyway, of course, they talk about tourism, and I guess everything is doing really good with Mr. Scott, and is speaking about the GOP. Mr. Latbella is throwing his hat in. Love it. He has a lot of legislative experience. Says he's going to be for the people. Imagine that. Well, that might be, what kind of people are you going to be for, Jack? If you're like Trump and you're actually for the people, they might call you a white supremacist if you do stuff like defend the country, protect the borders, police the homeland. They might call you a racist. So, the next headline, goodness, Americans learning to stay away from lightning. I mean, good luck with that. Florida is like the lightning capital of the world. I have to kind of laugh about this paper. Of course, they go on, with some story about a woman shedding 15 pounds on an effective program. It's effective. Not much to it today. I feel like I didn't get my money's worth. Some advertisements in the middle. But let me see. Oh, they talk about the Tampa continues to talk St. Pete quietly removes a Confederate plaque. And then underneath it, it has some new age woman doing some sort of like balancing act here with her kids. So anyway, it's interesting because they basically have an agenda here, and one of them is to claim that anybody defending this country is a racist. So as we were talking about racism a little bit, I tend to see an agenda. Oh, Pinellas plans nurse in every school by 2001. Well, back in my day, we had a school nurse, and she was there sitting in that office just to give a Band-Aid to you. If you were sick and throwing up because the cafeteria food was just god-awful, she was there to call your mom so your mom can come pick you up. Nowadays, so many of the moms are working that those kids would have to sit and wait a long time. So it's probably beneficial to have a nurse, daycare lady, a nurse sitting there waiting for those kids to vomit their lunches. So anyway, I'm so glad we're investing in education here. I would like to see our billions of dollars, Rick Scott, going into something other than No Child Left Behind. and you don't want to get me started on that. But I have to get busy today, getting ready for work, going into my job that is providing a little bit of an income, just a tiny bit of an income. It is the most god-awful job I've ever had to do. A company that is ranking number 10 out of worst companies to work for. And we're not going to tell you their name, but if you Google it, you'll see it. Any fitness center that is on the top 10 list is probably the company I might work for. Anyway, they say the CEO is a real pendejo. That would even like become close to like what I'm thinking about how they run the show there. It is just the most dysfunctional thing I've ever seen in my life. Anybody to run a business like that, no wonder they're going into the ground and people are withdrawing their Visa cards. So trying to get them to update or stay on one more month, you know, it's very iffy. There's competition. And thank God there's competition, because that place ought to go out of business. It's not a nice business at all. Of course, you know, they bought out other places and pushed them out of business. So it's kind of like a huge global kind of conglomerate, you know. So as our place of employment will eventually close down, and they'll build another shitty fitness center somewhere else. Anyway, just looking at Will's face from behind the camera, he's like, D. Anyway, I should feel thankful for the few meager pennies that they give me for those EFT updates, which they take back. You guys have a great day, and if you want me to report the news, maybe you can send some money my way so I can buy some more papers, because I really feel like put out this week. I'm over the top. I spent $2 on this piece of shit paper that really told me nothing that I really need to know. All right, have a great day and love y'all.